there. If you could just let me know what that means really quick here.
Okay.
Sorry for the delay. I appreciate your patience. How you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good, doing good. I was checking my calendar this morning, and usually, responsible people like plan ahead of time, like check ahead of time, but that doesn't fall into my category. So I check the calendar and I'm like, oh, Jasmine. And Pepper's like, yo, Jasmine? She's like, I saw your calendar. I was like, I'm not sure if this is. I was like, oh. So it's kind of like a Christmas present. I get to see who I get to coach every day. So I was like, oh, sick. Long time no chat.
Yay.
How you been?
I'm good. I've
Good.
just been working a whole lot. That's really it.
Okay. Well, miss hanging out with you. That was, I'm not going to lie, a lot of fun.
It was a lot of
fun.
fun.
It was a lot of fun. Minus the Korean barbecue, which I put all blame on you. That's all right.
Okay. For sure. My fault.
Well, let's, what are we looking at today? I mean, obviously, this is your second rodeo. So
Yes.
I guess more of, do you have any questions about training or mentality or anything else that we might have gone over last time? And if not, we can just go into gameplay.
I mean, no, not really. I feel like my mentality is still kind of the same.
Sure.
It hasn't changed a whole lot. I don't really
Sure.
have too many questions. I'm mostly on my VODs today. I wanted to focus on like my Ana gameplay
Okay.
as opposed to Kiri last time, and just kind of like cooldown management and just things I can be doing better, because I feel like I'm just like with Kiri initially that I'm really inconsistent and that I could just be doing a lot better overall.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. We can take a look then. Numbani, and then, well, which one do you want to start with? Because we'll probably have time for two, honestly.
I guess start with the Samoa one, because
Okay.
the other one is bleh.
Perfect. What do you think of Samoa?
I really like it. I think it's a cute map. Although
I think it's unusual.
like,
It's fun to play.
you don't play anywhere but on point. So
Yeah,
like,
this is my
see
least favorite
anything.
one. Definitely my least favorite one. I think there's just a lack of like for example, like who the frick uses this? You know what I'm saying? Like literally nobody. And then you go here, and again, like who on earth uses this? Like this is like
Yeah.
I hack this as Sombra sometimes, and like that's pretty much it. And there's really like a lot of areas that you just don't like ever use, like this here, for example. Like nobody ever uses this angle here either. So it's like there's another map like that where I feel like a lot of crap is wasted too. I can't. Oh, it's one of the Antarctica maps. The ones with like the massive one with the thing over point, the high ground.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's like a half that map nobody even uses. But yeah, okay. Let's take a look here. So Ana,
Mhm.
get my settings all situated here. So you talked about a little bit about like your CD management and all that stuff you've been working on.
Yes.
How's that all going?
It's going well for the most part. I feel like sometimes I get really anxious and I just toss some stuff out there
Yeah.
in hopes instead of, just thinking, and
Yeah.
I waste it sometimes. But, other than that, they're like okay.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I think like the CD management has gotten even harder, not in a good way, with the Ana nade change, which I'm like somewhere on. I'm always like I like to think of myself as like the middle of the road advocate when it comes to Ana, because like I love Ana a lot, but I also see that like as somebody who's played a lot and coached a lot of tank, I see the difficulties with Ana. But the things like what they did to nade is just offensive to me. Like
It is.
the 2-second cooldown just feels, it still doesn't address the issue with her, and it just feels terrible as the auto play. Like it's probably one of the biggest support nerfs, if not the biggest support nerf. But yeah, it is what it is. Okay, let's go take a look here.
It's just so slow.
And this is like, this has to change,
Yeah.
right? So this is bad, like regardless of whether it's on a 10 or 12 second or even a 6-second cooldown, right? But it's so much worse because of the 12-second cooldown, right? Because
Right.
like, let's just count down, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's your nade opportunity there. 7, 8. There's another nade opportunity there. You kind of see what I'm saying? So it's like it's kind of like Disruptor Shot from Sojourn, but it's worse because it's even more powerful. So what I would do is I would do like what I coach Hanzo's to Sonic, excuse me, where it's assess the situation first, then
Right.
nade. So you see Sigma here, and you immediately go, and even if there isn't a Sigma here, right? This nade is not
Yeah.
well timed, right? Because there's only so much duration. So even if it puts out a little bit of pressure, you'd prefer pressure once the fight actually starts, which is about now. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and then also you assess the situation, and you go like, okay, I see Sigma, I hear Bastion, I hear BAP, maybe I see Reaper as well. How does that affect your positioning?
Um,
Nothing
I don't really like to
crazy.
play like as far back as I
Sure.
am. I can play that left, so I can
Sure.
be a little bit more
More
with the
aggressive.
GQ. Yes.
Right. So then you see how that affects your nade usage.
Right.
So you're able to adjust your positioning to something that's a little bit more favorable, a little bit easier, maybe a better sightline, different sightline for a nade, and then all of a sudden you can go from there. So like a scout comp, establish your positioning, use your CDs. That's kind of like what you want to be doing. Now, obviously, you should be thinking about nade when you pick a position, but that doesn't mean that you have to nade as soon as you pick, as soon as you see anything. And honestly, like even here, like not to sound like awkward, but I do think like right here, this little chip on Genji, yeah, I think like I'm scoping right here. You know, I'm expecting somebody to swing out this way. I'm scoping down here, and then obviously like you still haven't quite rotated yet to that position that you pointed out. So I think that you're missing out on pressure opportunities. And then I mean, obviously even sleep, right? Like here's a sleep opportunity right here, down the lane that you went through, but you're a little slow because you're chipping on a Mercy who, in all honesty, like you should know should be okay. Nice shots.
Yeah.
Nice nade. That's what we love to see. Nice shot again. Popping off here. Good heal. He's fine. Like even here, right? Redundant.
Yeah.
As soon as you see Mercy tagged him and he's behind cover, right here, he's done. Literally better for you to be shooting shield here. Or also, like I said, you know, healing Junker Queen who actually is fighting right now. So good sleep. A little bit lucky that it hit the Baptiste, but you know, either way it was gonna hit somebody. Same thing with the nade, right?
Yeah.
Because with what you've seen, obviously here, now you have a much better opportunity to hit the Bastion or something else. Just wait it out. You don't have to rush it. Nade now is still good if you had it. Yeah. Okay. So, kind of a consistent theme here. And now that we kind of talked about what we want to see, now all we have to do is ask you, how do you actually match what we talked about with what you see in your screen? So in other words, you see this. What do you think about that?
That one's just bad. Just awful. I think that whenever I play Ana, I have a really bad habit of playing on autopilot. Just because like it's easier for me to hit like my shots that way, I guess, instead of like actively thinking about everything that I'm doing.
Now, why is that harder with Kiriko? Because you're obviously contrasting that with Kiriko. So why? What's different with Kiriko for you?
I guess Kiriko, like I'm just forced to think about it a lot more because I'm trying to play it in like an aggressive play style. So it just makes me like I'm just more worried about me dying consistently.
That's great. That's great. That's 100% accurate because it's like one of those situations where it's like it's hard to play Winston on autopilot, but it's easy to play Orisa on autopilot. And the problem with that, though, is that an autopiloted Orisa will lose just as many games as an autopiloted Winston, but you won't really feel it.
Right.
So, like, you will not get value out of this nade.
Right.
And that will potentially lose you this fight. But you won't think back to this moment and go, oh, yeah, I threw the fight here. You'll just think, oh, I didn't die, yet we still... Like for example, last fight, right? You lost the fight, but it didn't feel like you fed, right? Like you hit a sleep dart, you hit a nade, you hit a couple of shots. You know, so you feel like, oh, I did fine, I did okay. But no, you didn't. You really didn't. You missed many opportunities that were not even that particularly hard. And so like, I think that's a good assessment. Like with Kiriko, it's like you're so much more directly involved. You also get directly punished for any mistakes. With Ana, it's all the indirect punishment that you may not put two and two together. So like you said, I think that's actually a good point. So like here, it's like you might not die for that nade, but your team will. Like even here, what's the problem? What's the minor problem here? Not a major problem, but what do you think?
Just staying scoped in way too long, and I could just be walking forward with my Orisa getting to a better position.
Sure.
I'm like, so far back.
So where would you rotate to? So we've critiqued it, so then guidance. Where do you go?
Probably to kind of where like my Kiri is at the moment, and then once they see where they're positioned at, probably a little bit closer once the sentry is done.
Yep. 100%. Okay, let's keep going here. Take it a better position. Do more things. I like the patience with the nade. I don't like the placement with the nade. But yeah. Sorry.
I was going for the Ana. I just missed
Yeah, that's fine. It was reasonable enough. Good sleep dart, by the way.
Thank you.
But yeah, again, another fight where it's like, you know, I missed the nade a little bit, yeah, but I did hit the sleep dart. I hit some healing. I didn't die. Why are we losing?
My headset died.
That's fine. That's fine. I figured as much. Miss one nade and you just rage.
Exactly.
Embarrassing, man. These support players are so entitled.
So embarrassing.
Anyway, okay, here we go.
There we go. Can actually hear again.
Nice. Good try. All right, yeah, so it was a good try. Just for the sake of just for the sake of like fun, if you'd had time to position anywhere you'd want here, what would have been the solution to this plan?
The solution to this one?
Mm-hmm. Because you can't do anything on main to stop this. You even slept the bash. You could have maybe landed the nade, but Sig Shield is gonna like last too long, right? So
yeah.
What do you think?
I'd probably either stay like directly behind here, like this little thing that I'm standing to the right of, and just try to poke out on the right hand side to heal the tank and carry whenever they start pushing forward.
Sure.
It might be a little bit better there, that or just pushing up on the wall with them. Or just going like the center, the right hand, little flanking
like here.
That no one ever goes. Yeah,
like here.
Instead of just trying to push through that angle.
Yeah, check this out. The one time where this might have actually made sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I saw my tracer here, and I'm like, you know, we got to go around this BAP window, and even if not that, this is okay because this puts you on the other side of BAP window too, right?
Right.
Just something to kind of think about, right? Like obviously at this point in time, you don't have a lot of time to react, especially considering what's happening here. So you're just kind of walking forward. But what is it set on? This seems like it's set on. Okay, no, we're good. But if you'd had time, you know, something to consider. Okay, anyway, let's keep going. Like really, even here, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't see a reason why not to take this rotation.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know,
they don't really have anyone that can poke me out besides like Zarana.
Because it gets you out of the choke. It gets you a slightly better sightline on main. You know, I love how I was like trash talking this map, and the first thing I've realized is that maybe this is actually a pretty good retake as a support here. So yeah, I'm a little dense, but that's okay. And I'm not going to try and look too smug here, but you know that would have been something that would have been very easy to LOS with this position here.
Right.
Nade timing was good. Maybe you want to blow off of that. Oh my days. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm looking at your Zarya's shield. Wait a second. No way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way.
Oh my god.
No way, man. No way. I was like, there's no way, because I'm like looking back, it's like, oh my goodness, 4 HP. Wow. That's insane. Now, my question here is like, I don't think so. I don't think so. Because I think, well, what do you lose by being here?
I can't really help out the Tracer and Genji.
Right. So it's like you lose total control of this right angle. So I'm honestly not sure. Maybe in some circumstances. Okay. So when would this be good? When would this be good?
Anytime that you're retaking point.
Sure. What about composition? Think composition. What would you want from them? Yeah, from them.
If like we're playing any sort of poke, like Sig Bastion,
yeah,
anything that we're not flanking on.
Check this out. They're on Sombra Tracer.
Oh.
You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got one flank to get to, and it's a flank that you can hear. And obviously like a decent side. Like I don't know. It's something to consider. Like even versus their comp, I think that high ground is really, really good. I just don't know if they're gonna go main or not, you know. Nade is okay. Like your Genji was at least engaged, so it was alright. Go in here. Your comp has like unbelievable old economy if you guys can like get your ball rolling.
Yeah.
Again, I just don't know how I feel about those nades. It's tricky, you know? It's like it's because it's like technically your Zarya can shoot, But it's like one of those nades that I feel like I wouldn't really care about if it was 10 seconds, but now that it's 12, I just don't know. You know? It's a little bit unfortunate that Winston eats it, but it just feels so easy for them to LOS.
Right.
I don't know. I won't say it's a bad nade, because I don't think it is. But I don't know.
It'd be better to save.
I just want a committal from either your team or the enemy team. It is actually insane how many Bastions are so bad at this ultimate. 1, 2. What was that third one? Like, why? Like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. I think you could be pressing W here as well. Just given the advantage that your team has, it's going to create up better opportunities to trade. Okay, let's keep going. Good nade, like unironically great nade. It's a little bit lucky. I think you're aiming it for Winston. Were you? I don't know if you were.
Yeah.
Actually, okay,
Kind
so you
of.
were.
It was
Kind of.
mainly I wanted to hit it off either the Winston or the Zarya, so that way I
Okay.
could hit my Kiri with it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it hits the Winston at a really nasty time. It chips his armor off right as he gets the nano. And so I think it prevents the nano heal. So your Kiriko feeds, that's unfortunate. I know exactly what you're doing. It happens. You go to flick your sleep and then you realize you need to nano, so you flick your nano. That's okay. It happens. It's a good nano. Only thing I would say here. No, I wouldn't say that either. The sleep was reasonable. It just needed to hit. Nano was good. Yeah, that's fine. All right, I want to see this. Let's go. Come on. 7K.
Just died
Right.
instantly.
Yeah, so that was that's
fine.
Spy Lucio. Okay, so what are you seeing so far? Little details, big things. What do you got?
I'm just kind of using nade whenever I feel like using nade. I'm not using it when it would be best for the team, and whenever we're kind of engaging.
Sure.
I'm not really recognizing whenever those team fights are starting. And then like my position could definitely be a lot better, and just the sleep usage, of course.
Sure. So what about the positioning specifically?
I'm just not playing to my best sight lines with the comp set. Like my team is running and what they are running as well. I'm playing scared in some instances, in some instances I'm just like kind of running at them.
And why is that? Is that a map issue, or is it just like you said, like you were talking about, like I don't feel like you're fully engaged, or is it a little bit of both? I mean, I know I'm asking it maybe a question that's impossible to answer, but I guess thinking
I think
about it.
it's like a little bit of autopilot, and also I just get a little bit tunnel visioned, especially like if I see someone critical or like I know an ultimate is coming up. It's like if I know that they have primal, I get tunnel visioned on that, or if I know they have blade or something like that's going to go for me specifically, I just get really tunnel visioned on it, and sometimes it just distracts me a lot.
Right. Okay. Something to keep in mind then. During that last round, what were you getting tunnel visioned on? Do you remember? How recent was this game?
It was pretty recent. I was mostly getting tunnel visioned on like my Genji Tracer because they were just like begging for heals, and I wanted to make sure that I was getting to them essentially.
Okay. Makes sense. So is there a solution for this, or is it just more of a small adjustment? Like, for example, like the autopilot on like, or the tunnel vision, or I guess autopilot on the Ana positioning thing was like maybe just something that you just need to get over, right? But with this, I'm not really sure.
For this, I think it's just like my mentality. It's just like when I play Kiri, I'm just really anxious when I play, and I'm like more concerned with like what my teammates are thinking and what they're saying, as opposed to like if it's the best decision to do.
So you're more influenceable.
Yes.
From what you know to do is right. Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I always like. I like to think of myself as a relatively nice guy, but when it comes to coaching Overwatch, I always coach selfishness. You know, because I think it's really easy to get influenced by your teammates' decisions and feedback when really their motivations are selfish, right? And for you to win games as perform, and you know this as well as anybody else, it's like you need to do what's best for your character.
Mhm.
And so I guess, hmm, I
I
guess
feel
the
like
way,
I'm
go ahead, go ahead.
I feel like I'm just really bad about, like, I take into account, like, what my teammates are saying. Like, if they're saying, like, I'm playing bad, it affects the way I'm playing. If they're just, like, being toxic or begging for heals, it makes me anxious. And then, like, I play a little bit differently because of that. It's
Yeah,
like I'm not a selfish player by any means, and I feel like I could definitely be more of one.
sure,
It's
sure, sure. No, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I think, um, um, it would come. It's more of like a spectrum. It doesn't have to be like just flipping a switch.
Mhm.
Um, but if you could just even pivot a little bit with how you approach things, like how you like just be a little bit more selfish, or honestly, like have a little bit more confidence that what you're doing is the right play. Because it's
Mhm.
hard to say don't listen to what your teammates say,
Right.
because what do you do to fill that void, you know?
Yeah.
And I think like we need to fill that void with something. Like don't listen to what your teammates say, do what instead, you know?
Uh-huh.
And I think that might be think about how you're going to get value, think about the timing of your nade, think about like what position makes the most sense for your character at any point in time.
Right.
Because even for me, it's like, I am like, I'm a pretty tough guy, right? But you know what? You're tougher than me because I don't join voice, you know? I don't. I don't want to get flamed because Sparlow is troll. Like I don't have time. I have too much going on in my day to give a rip about what low masters players have to say. So it's like,
Yeah.
and I think that's not. I'm not saying necessarily that has to be you. Like if you enjoy voting voice and you get value out of it, go for it. But I'm just saying that like if you're going to like delve into the swamp, you need to wear boots.
Right. I
So
feel like I don't play on autopilot whenever I'm shot calling in chat. Like this game we were calling out like our like nano blades and everything like that. I wasn't talking a whole lot, but it was just, enough like important things like that. Whenever I do try to play Ana, I try to talk in chat and like shot call and call all of the
yeah,
ults and things like that because it just helps me concentrate better.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
otherwise, I'm just kind of like running around shooting things.
yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Well, I guess I think you're gonna need to find your niche. Like
Yeah.
how do you want to like? What's your like thought process to kind of make this work? Because I think like addressing that is going to be what allows you to actually apply the stuff that we talk about in the review.
Right.
Because obviously it's going to be like, oh, I need to do this, do this, do this. It's going to slip right back into old autopilot / think about your teammates' habits, and it's going to like you've not made any progress at all.
Mhm.
So, okay, let's keep going. Any questions so far?
Not so far.
Okay, you're playing fine. There's just always value to be found. Like
Yeah.
even that, right? Like meaningless, right? Meaningless.
Yeah.
You need to assess the situation. Like, and just for sometimes that's meaningful. Like, I mean, if that's a Widowmaker or something, like it's not the end of the world, right? But like, assess the situation now within the information you have now, right?
Right.
You could press tab. You can see the Winston. You also know a brawl is about to start about next 7 seconds, right? So, you know, even something like assessing the fact that hey, Winston's right click has a freaking 40-meter range now, right? That's something I'm still trying to get used to, right? So
Yeah.
and this is one of those fights where it's like maybe you look at this fight and go, oh yeah, I trolled that fight. Maybe, maybe you don't, and that's and you obviously know you did.
Yeah.
So it's something to consider. I understand the logic behind that nade. It's all right. Just don't go fishing for sleep darts here. Right? Right?
I knew I was about to.
Right. It's hard not to because it feels good, right?
I feel like whenever they don't like if I'm not getting dived um really hard if they don't have a tracer or sombra or something, then I don't care about my cooldowns nearly as much.
But you
If they
should.
do, then like I care about it a little bit more, but I just kind of toss them out whenever I'm not getting dove and it's a
All right.
problem.
You're. Oh, I'm gonna whip out the real big one. You ready for this one?
Oh yeah.
All right. Microsoft Paint time.
Oh no.
Oh yes. So here's the thing. If you're playing versus dive, like the composition you're playing versus right now, even some dive element, Winston Reaper, you know at some point those guys are going to go aggressive on your backline.
Yeah.
Have your sleep dart. If you see an opportunity for a nade earlier, I think there's a little bit more flexibility with nade, but certainly a sleep dart, use it versus dive defensively, right? The problem always happens, like, what happens if they're playing characters that, you know, just kind of do this and hold an angle and don't really do much? Like, for example, you saw it with the Sigma Bastion Reaper, right? Like, what do I do versus a composition like that when I'm never really going to get dove? Well, the answer is really, really, really simple. If you're playing versus dive in your position, like, let's put you in green right here. Can you see this? Like down here?
Yeah.
Then you're going to, at some point, get pressured, right? And so you need that sleep dart, or you want to have that sleep dart to allow you to hold that position safely. But see, what you do when you're playing versus spam, or anything that's not going to directly force your sleep dart, is you need to go looking for sleep dart and nade value. But you don't go looking for sleep dart and nade value by holding, you know, a turret position 65 million miles away. What you do is you hold a more aggressive angle, and you say, hey guys, I'm going to be doing more damage, more healing, and getting better nade angles from this position unless you come after me. And the Reinhardt goes, well, crap, I have to go push on this, and then you sleep him.
Oh, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's the insurance that you have that you kind of force the issue by, I wouldn't even say positioning more aggressively, because people are going to take that and mean like, I should position right directly next to my tank. But you should try to find a better, slightly greedier sightline, maybe a deeper angle, something along those lines, like over here. Something that we're like, an Ana shouldn't be allowed to position there, but she has her sleep dart and nade. So it's, if you're like, I just don't really think about my sleep dart and nade much, well, you should, because they're your insurance. It's your get out of jail free card. So if you're not getting that get out of jail free card forced by an enemy dive composition, then you need to be playing more aggressively so that people try to duel you, if that makes any sense. Like, think about like the Reaper Bastion. Okay, you need to be thinking, oh, there's nothing to dive me, so I'm going to play a pretty aggressive sightline. We talked about that the very first fight. Go walk to point. Take a very nasty sightline on the backline, and what are they going to do about it? Right? Your Reaper's got TP on you. I've got sleep dart. You know, you're not going to be. So I look at this situation here. Let me transition the stream here. Might have to re-click some stuff. I know starting and stopping streams. Let me know when you're back in.
I'm back in. Okay,
so let's say that this is like a Rein comp, right? Like, let's say this is like an Orisa composition or something like this. Once your team gets out of the choke, you could even walk in here and nade the floor and then back out, right? Rein backs up, Orisa backs up, Sigma backs up. Like, let's say they take an angle here. Again, it's like, what's the greediest sightline that I can take that I can hold with the sleep dart? I'm baiting attention. I'm baiting that Ram. I'm baiting that Rein. I'm baiting that Orisa to push on me. You have to be smart with it, but I think like the idea is that you still want to be calculated with your cooldowns, but you just shift it. You shift your mentality with it a little bit.
Right.
And then obviously here, it's like, I don't think you need to be doing much of that, because that nade's questionable, because you're running Reaper Winston. So you, in theory, if you're positioned properly, will be getting pressure, and you'll be punishing that pressure. I still see a lot of heal botting right here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like here, take a pot shot on Winston, take a pot shot on Ana from across the map, you know? There's also a good argument. Well, actually, the silence terrible. Never mind. I was going to say take a different angle, but I don't really see a different angle. So it certainly puts some pressure out here. This chip damage is meaningless. Or chip healing, excuse me. Love to see it. Now you've got them in the back foot. Hit the nade. Let's go. Unfortunate. Good shots, though. Really nice shots. Nice pocket as well. Nice shots again. Nice. Now go back to damage. Nice. Good nade. Good try in the nade anyway. Good nano. I mean, do you see? You're crisping. Whenever you see how you're like, okay, you didn't even need to use your sleep dart because he had to dive you. You're deadlifting this fight. You have that, like, Ana is so, if Ana's not pressured and you have a good sightline, you do so much damage and so much healing. They have to pressure you, and then you put your sleep dart or you put your nade out, and then that's over. So, force the issue is the way to look at it. Good idea. It's okay. It's okay. It's a good idea, though, right? Right. That's what we want. Like, they're walking forward. Your queen is walking forward. This nade is really expensive, because if you nade this and they disengage, you will force cooldowns. You will force cooldowns, and that will totally, even if it just delays their engage by 10 seconds, that's going to get your nade back. So risky sleep dart, but if you think that Winston has used what's going to allow him to dive you, then it's okay. So for example, if you sleep dart this Winston, and you're confident the sleep is going to hit, and you're confident that Winston's going to lose a chunk of HP and get his bubble forced, are you as concerned about not having Sleep Dart anymore?
No.
No. In theory, things like Primal Rage or Reaper TP can definitely complicate that issue, but if your Sleep Dart forces enough offensive pressure that it's okay to quote unquote waste it. Huge JQ ult. Good pocket. I say that as you choke 2 shots.
I did.
That's okay. Still winnable. No way. Object permanence. Object permanence.
He jumped up and I was just like, what do I do?
That is hilarious. That was really funny.
I was freaking out.
Got Goomba stomped. Holy crap. But see, this is where, like, you know, you're heal botting here, right?
Yeah.
But think about what this positioning is, right? Look at your sightline here. You see this? I mean, look at this nade. Look at the shots it could be landing right now.
Right.
And you see how that would be kind of going what we're talking about, even though it's versus dive, you would be forcing that issue. Is kind of what I'm saying, right? Like, they have to push now. If you're a fielder here, which you should be, you're getting dove right now. Because if you don't, they have to disengage. Right? You have a good sightline. I love your positioning right now. Do something with it. I mean, it wasn't particularly well placed, but you know what? It forced the issue. And there it is. You see that? But the problem is that because you got a halfway decent nade, even though they're forcing the issue, it's not forced well. Check it out. You see this? That's on. So this dive has no teeth at all.
Right.
0 chance. So you panicked on the Sleep Dart, which was stupid. But you're under no pressure whatsoever right now. And then now, force the issue again. You have your Sleep Dart, you have your nade, force the issue. Poorly placed, right? I think the key thing for you when you're missing these nades, let me know what you think. It feels like you don't have a specific target in mind, and you should.
That's exactly what it is I just toss it in like the group that I see, and then I hope that it lands as many people as possible.
Who should you be nading right now? This is a trick question.
Probably the Reaper Winston, just to try to.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, it really doesn't matter. I think this is one of the scenarios where like a nade on Cassidy kills him. But a nade on Reaper Winston is massive space. Totally shuts down the push. Which one's more valuable?
The Reaper Winston.
I don't really care, to be honest with you, because a kill on Cassidy is great too. You've got the follow up. This guy is, if you hit this nade, he's dead. He's dead. So I don't know. I don't think it matters. Just pick one and hit it. Not in between. Turns out the Cassidy died anyway. So all right, well there you go. See, they're not forcing the issue here. Like, they're ignoring you and they're paying the price. And this is where you can be like, oh, I still have CDs, so I'm going to keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. Why?
Because they don't have any cooldowns.
Correct.
And it's better to play aggressive.
Correct. And you have yours. You see this? So if that Reaper Winston turn on you, you're not going to die.
Right.
You have your, again, I hate using this term because it's really not an accurate term, but you have your quote-unquote get out of jail free card. Please don't nade like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
There's an inconsistency with like your value from this, you know? You notice like, what was it, 2 fights ago? You absolutely deadlifted?
Yeah.
This is going to be dirty. Force the issue. They don't know what to do. They're still disengaging. And that's it. It's kind of funny because you're like, well, how did the Reaper die? Well, here's how the Reaper died. So you hit the nade here. Soldier's out. Doom goes in, but Soldier's hiding. So Junker Queen actually gets in for free. Soldier has to lose space. Doomfist uses his CDs, but doesn't actually like go in because he's still less than half HP. So then now their Moira is so focused on, well, actually, really the Reaper is so focused on holding space, actually pushing, but who's not peeking right now on their team?
Basically, like everyone.
Right, Doomfist still hasn't really properly engaged. Soldier's been basically AFK for the last 4 seconds. And so Reaper messes up his timing because he thinks, surely we're going to push now, guys, not realizing that his backline is still recovering from being naded. Right. So I know it's a bit of a stretch, but it's a good nade. And the key thing here too, again, that's what we want to see from a sleep dart. If you could put enough pressure on that Doomfist with the sleep dart, then yeah, he's good. Okay, I mean, this is... They're cooked. That was good. That nade's fine. You'll have it back in time. That sleep dart is not so fine. Not so confident that you'll have it back. And also, there's no follow-up there either. So even if the sleet hit, it doesn't matter that much. Blind nade. Hate to see it.
And I was scared the JQ was gonna die.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. Sleep dart was not the one I wanted to see. Nade, whatever.
Yeah.
Nice. Back. Yep. Good.
I missed so many shots. I just missed so much.
I'll point this out. Little tiny detail.
Yeah.
If you nade this Reaper right now, instead of healing your Kiriko, he dies.
Yeah.
Which means that your Reaper also lives and so on.
Right.
And so on. I don't know how you guys win this fight. You guys get another touch? Yeah, you guys get another touch. Seriously, how do you win this? Oh no, you don't win this, but you won the previous round. I'm stupid. I somehow thought you lost the previous round. I was like, there's no way. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Sorry, letting the next session know we're running a little over. Yeah. No comment. And even here, right? Come on.
Yeah.
She's fine.
She is
fine. Throw one shot to her, maybe?
Yeah.
But certainly not that second one. Because you need to be thinking, okay, where is it? Ah! Good. Could have been placed a little bit deeper. Should have hit both. I think you realize that. But you know what? At this point in time, the fact that I hit one target, I'm just happy to see it at this point. So he disengages. I mean, it's not a huge value, but you know, I'll take it. We choose our battles here. And small detail. While your chip scoped in, chip healing your Kiriko, your jungle queen is getting run down by a Bastion that you should be sleeping.
Yeah.
Right? It's always opportunity cost. It's always. Nothing's for free. Nothing's for free. Anytime you spend heal botting, somebody's dying. That's the irony. You had a target in mind with that one, I could tell. And it works quite well. Allows your team to walk out for free. I also like this rotation a lot. Understandable sleep dart. It was really close. If you hit that sleep, he dies, so it's fine. Right? I mean, you took a rotation, you took some proactivity, and this has been marvelous, really. Come on. Wait, you gotta love this, right? This is beautiful. Yeah. Fish for a sleep dart here? I would fish for a sleep dart because, you know, anything that gets slept there is gonna get... Or the nade, that's fine too.
This was just fucking dumb. I don't know why, but I just thought I was getting healed there and it just wasn't.
I mean, it's a windowed Bastion, so I think I don't think it matters. I actually felt the spread nerf there. Actually, did you notice that? I thought you would have died way faster, but it took him a little bit to kill you there.
I did.
See that? Like that was good. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I was so pleased. Like I feel like you look at the start of this fight, you actually might still win this fight because if you look at like the space that your team controls here. Like really here, okay? And then you skip forward, and obviously there's a lot of decisions that kind of prompted this here. But really, you could just feel the red amoeba start to walk forward. You see this? And that's all from the angle that you're holding. I think this angle is beautiful. You did a great job. You fumbled the bag at the end, but you know, it is what it is. And like I said, your team might still win this fight. They got the point for certain, Yeah, I mean, yeah, your team is still benefiting from the angle that you took, even now.
Mhm.
Yeah, now you guys are gonna win. Oh no. This guy is cracked. He wasn't even aiming for her. Man, okay, anyway, that's unfortunate. Still winnable. Let's do it. Understandable sleep dart. I felt like the shield was gonna break there like a quarter of a second faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, let's walk. Walk. Nice. Busted up. Now, this angle's fine. Obviously, I think my major concern was like, what if your team pushes up here? But I think your team is content to find a point, so we're good. Only problem I would have here is what? You see it?
Yeah.
It's again, it feels fine, right? But if you, on retrospect, gotta be careful. This fight is fixing to go, and yeah, you're delaying it, and obviously that sleep dart too as well. But now you want nade. Because now your team is actually like that Sigma has crossed the line. Like he's pushing now. But yeah. This guy is really bad at Bastion Ultimate. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
1, 2. He misses both, and then I don't. Nice job, by the way. I guess you got the moves, I suppose. He's dead. Hit it. Hit it. He's distracted. Hit it. Nice. Beautiful. Still winnable, actually, because you guys still have the high ground here. Yeah, see? That Reaper trolls. Great nade. You could throw your sleep dart out now if you want to. You have a good angle for it. Close.
Oh.
Like, nipped him right in the toes.
Yeah.
Actually kind of shocked they didn't hit him. I mean, come on. You know, he literally jumped over your sleep dart.
Yeah.
That's okay. Love the position. That's actually a crazy shot from their Cassidy. Still winnable. Nice nade. Nice pocket. But unfortunate. Yeah, I think you played the fight relatively well. Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
You can't do much about that.
Yeah.
Winnable. Anna Blaine. You guys only need to win 2 fights. Sleep dart there. It makes me want to like just weep myself to sleep. Good nano. Early nade, no rush, right? Read the battlefield, right? Read the battlefield, then nade. Read the battlefield, then nade. No rush. Nice rotation.
This I just miss.
I mean, you had sleep dart, right?
I did.
You had sleep dart there, but it's still winnable. Still winnable. You have pulse, which can always turn things. I think you win this. I think you get a 7k nade.
For sure.
See, even here, you know, like what's stopping you from? I don't know. It's like, what's the worst that the Rhine can do? What's the worst that the Rhine can do?
Charge at me, but I can just sleep him.
Exactly. That's kind of what we talked about, right? Where like you can earn that position,
right?
You know? And obviously, if we want to dig really deep here,
yeah, I know.
it's just not something that you want to play. It's not a game that you want to play. Instead, I want to be like, I have sleep dart, therefore I don't have to nade a shield. You know, I could take an angle around the shield. And like I said, obviously with the power of hindsight here too, you know, like that you only have pulse and they have Cole and High Noon. So like this is the only thing that you guys are going to do is pop off through cooldowns. And that's not it, right? So, okay. Let's take a look at the second code here. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. Let's keep going here. So what are you seeing so far? If you were to tie it up into a nice tidy bow, and maybe it's gameplay related, maybe it's your mentality when it comes to playing on it, I don't really know. But what are you seeing?
I do well sometimes, but it's mainly just the positioning that I'm in that enables me to pop off and like do those good plays. I'm wasting a lot of cooldowns and not really looking for good opportunities for them.
Right. So I think the question always is, why are you wasting those cooldowns? What are you missing?
I think I'm just tossing them because I'm not getting dove and I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just like, oh, well, if I landed, then that'd be cool. But if I don't, then I'm not worried about it because they don't have a dive target on me.
Right. Not realizing the very fact that they don't have a dive target means that you have more responsibility to get value elsewhere.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. What else? Maybe
Um,
that's mostly it, really. But
I think like I do well with positioning. Like sometimes if we're winning and we're doing well in fights, but as soon as we lose a fight, I go back to playing scared. Just like I played the low ground instead of trying to rotate to the high ground. Because I was like, oh, I don't want my Zarya to die. I'm like, my Zarya will die whenever I rotate high ground. That was like what I was thinking in that moment. It's like, I don't want anyone to die while I'm trying to rotate.
right.
And like, if I did rotate, then it would have been a better fight overall.
Sure.
And like, we
sure.
probably could have won. But
Right. I think obviously there's going to be times where like maybe you can't rotate mid-fight, but that's why it makes it so important to kind of make these reads and adjustments mid-fight instead of like kind of coasting. So that you don't have to, like whatever you can, you don't want to have to rotate to those positions and lose LOS mid-fight. So then make sure that you do it pre-fight. Obviously. Okay. Let's keep going here. Toxic team. Sad.
Yeah. This game got really toxic basically after the first fight. Our diva was complaining a whole lot. To the point where I had to mute our diva because it was just a lot.
Okay. Have to have the sleep out here, by the way.
Yeah.
Because now you're
Now I don't have it.
totally open, yeah.
It's freaking out because I heard the soldier running around. It was freaking me out so bad, and then I didn't look, and I let him die. And I just
feels a little bit of a panic, you know.
It was.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to overread this one. Just a little bit of panic. You know, if he dies, he dies. Like it kind of feels like you know what it feels like. Here's what it feels like. It feels like as soon as your Zenyatta died, you just turn your brain off.
Yeah.
It's like, oh well, GG's. I fumbled the bag. Somebody died. But come on, like you have both CDs, and this Genji's totally by himself. Look at this Genji. Look what this Genji does. I want you to look at this from the Genji's perspective. You're basically full HP. He has no health. You have both CDs and good positioning, and you just freaking did nothing to him at all.
Yeah.
Like, I promise you, if I did this in my garbage, low diamond, that's being flattering to my, as a dude, I would die to the plat honest doing this.
Yeah.
I'm a million miles away. You could feel the mentality shift where something dies and you just totally like just fumble the bag and start choking. Relax. This fight is still winnable, right? Like, you still have 4 people alive. I don't even know what their soldier's doing, right? Obviously, you didn't know that at the time, but like, you're fine. You're good. You have positioning and your CDs. You're fine. Chill.
I think I was freaking out because like my diva was so crit, and then I saw the Genji there, and I was like, I'm gonna die here. I'm gonna die here. I'm gonna die here.
Right. But you notice that like even like your actions signify literal tunnel.
Yeah.
Watch this. Why are you scoping?
And I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know if this is so much of a, maybe it's a mechanical habit for you. Maybe it's just, you're just choking and fumbling and need to like, I have to hit these shots, right?
Yeah.
Just, you know, I don't know.
I think that was it. I think I was just scared that I was gonna miss the shots.
Which then obviously kind of leads you into a negative snowball loop.
Yeah.
Which then compounds the issue because you do miss the shots and then you miss the shots in the Genji and then you die for it and then
This is like when, like, my mentality is such a big factor because if I'm in my head, then I play so bad. It's like on this Mo game, it's like we're winning. I'm not really scared. I'm not like actively thinking about like protecting a Zen or anything like that. But as soon as like my Zen dies, I'm just like, oh shit, like I should have been healing him. It was like I fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you stop this? How do you break the cycle? I won't even say necessarily reset back to neutral because that's being too ambitious, right? But how do you like at least slow down or break the cycle, or at least stop the what do they say, the hemorrhaging, whatever, or stem the hemorrhage? Like, how do you do this?
I think just trying to collect myself is like, just because my Zen died doesn't mean it's the end of the fight, especially there. It's like for my diva, if I was that scared of the Genji, I could have always rotated and called for my diva to meet me over in this like corridor if I was that terrified of it. But I also just need to have a little bit more confidence. It's like I can hit those shots, like I can 1v1 that Genji and make it out okay.
You can. I think also being like a little bit detached helps too. Yeah. Where it's like if you go into this game and you're worried about like trying to perform or do a good job or be a good support, that you've already failed. But if you go into this game and your Zen dies and you're just thinking about like how you're positioning for your CDs or like actually like nading a single target or whatever, or like staying calm in firefight situations, you've not failed. The opportunity to perform and practice that skill is not only still there, you're in prime condition for it, right? So you're looking at that and you're like, oh, my Zen's dead. Okay, well, I'm going to practice this instead. Like like I said, again, you treat ranked like a drill is like the way I always try to look at it. Like just treat ranked like a practice, like a sport drill, right? And so your Zen dies might put you at a disadvantage in the fight, but it doesn't really affect what you need to be practicing.
Right.
And if you really look at that, by the way, is your Zen dying? I don't even necessarily, I mean, it was definitely a little bit of a mistake on your end. There's also a mistake in his end too. I understand why you went back and checked for Soldier, right? It would have been a mistake not to check for Soldier. Right? So it was a tough situation. Things got a little bit unlucky. You look at that. I think you take personal responsibility for that, but I don't even think you should. I don't think you should. Because what happens is you think, oh, I messed up on the Zen, and then you really mess up after that.
Right.
And it's funny, after all that, you still had a clean retake opportunity. That, because you're still in your head, you fumbled. Like, I mean, there's nothing to say here, right?
Yeah.
Every single thing that you're doing is just a total consequence of your mentality. Your positioning is awful. The cooldown usage is awful. The mechanics are awful. Everything is snowballed. And again, I want to point out to you that this fight is actually even. This is a 4v4.
Right here, I was so worried about the diva being critical and that she just kept spamming that she needed healing. But I knew the Soldier was there killing me, and I didn't want to take the bus route or to try to get to her. And
so make a decision. Make a decision, right? That's where like you're deer in headlights is literally what you are. Where you go left, you go right, you go left, you go right. You don't know what to do, and you just get hit by the car. We could literally see it happening right now.
Right.
Like right now, where do you want to be? Do you want to be here, or do you want to be clearing top? What's better?
Top.
Okay. Do you think you should try to take top, or do you think you should just give up and rotate underneath?
I think I should try if I have other people going with me. But if I don't have anyone going with me, I knew that they were up there because my Soldier called it. I was like, I'm just going to die if I try to push it by myself.
Sure. So then, okay, let's say you commit to the rotate underneath like you are right now. Not the end of the world, right? So let's see how you respond. Because you know they're up there. Here they come. Blech.
Yeah. Very bleh. I'm just freaking out.
You literally just pressed sleep dart.
Yeah.
That's all you did. Where should you go right now? Tricky, right? Because you're being pulled in a million different directions at once, right? So, like, where should you go?
That back high ground.
Good. Right now?
It'd probably be the safest because they just treed and they were still engaging. Although, like, our Mei is, like, pushing forward. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure where to even play with this.
That's my point exactly. There isn't a clear answer. You could rotate with your Zen, you could push up with your Mei, you could push up with your ball, you could rotate left with your Soldier. I don't really care, to be honest with you. This is what it looks like from an overhead. I can see your difficulty. Make a choice. You could push out right here and totally shut down this Doomfist, but instead you just like kind of looked his direction, just slept dart the door frame, you know? And you're not pushing with your Mei. You're not peeking here because you could also kill the Soldier too, or you could at least I'm gonna let my Mei die, but I'm gonna take a power position like you said, take the back high ground. So then after my Mei dies, okay, whatever. She's just dead, freaking dead lane. Give her a rip. She's dumb. Mei players anyway, right? But then here, oh, you're cooking. You're cooking now. You're totally good now. You can pocket your soldier. You can shoot Genji. But no, we're going to panic and nade nothing instead.
Yeah.
So I do think that like here, it's like, it's unimportant for us to decide, oh, what would have been the best thing? You just needed to make a decision.
Right.
Take some sort of proactivity. Like even now, this is really, that was a nice play, by the way. This is terrifying here. I feel like you guys have to do something.
Here, I was just like, I don't know, I was just so anxious, and I felt like I was being pulled in a million different ways, and I couldn't make a decision on what I needed to be doing or where I needed to play because everything was so spread out, and I didn't know where to play.
Right.
I was trying to play in the center of it all.
Sure. So I feel like this is where instead of being pulled in a million different directions, push yourself in a direction that you want to go.
Right.
And that will indirectly end up putting you up to help somebody else that made that same decision. So when you have 4 different people that want to help you in 4 different ways, pick the one that lines up with your goals the best.
Right.
That I have a better nade sight line, that's a safer positioning for me, or I wanted to rotate that anyway. And then if the other people get mad, their problem. Because the worst case scenarios you've seen there is that you don't choose a position that's good for you. And because you haven't committed to anybody, you also don't properly support anybody. So it's like the worst of both worlds. You don't get value and they don't get supported.
Right.
Okay, it's fine. I could just feel it, you know?
Just the anxious. It makes me play so bad. I'm playing so bad.
Okay. At least you rotated high ground, though.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Not the only one, apparently. Nice. Nice.
I was just freaking out on the Zen.
He's gonna die sometimes, right? And there's just nothing you can worry about it. Don't worry about it. Oh, I thought, oh, that was so close to hitting her. I thought for sure you were gonna hit her. Again, reset. What are you gonna do? Where do you want to be?
Back left.
Sure.
Just like here, I'm just so focused on heal botting because I'm so worried about the Zen. And I don't want him to die again.
And it even shows in your CD usage right here, like where like obviously like this nade, as we talked about, is like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I say that, but you know. Dang it, man.
Sometimes it works.
Sometimes it works.
I'm just freaking out.
This can't be fun for you.
It's not. It was such an anxious game.
Yeah. Now, what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to be anxious about not being anxious.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to be super calm. Otherwise I'm choking. No. We want it to be like a developed skill that, you know, slowly improves over time. That like you're a little bit calmer, you're a little bit more focused on yourself, a little bit more selfish, you know, but it's you know, it's not going to be a night and day change, and it shouldn't be a night and day change. It'd be something that you would work at a little bit over time.
I feel like I'm just not very confident in my mechanics and my skills. That I just like, whenever I let the Zenyatta die, things like that, just like that, I was literally walking like a bot. I walked right into it.
Right.
I freak out, and I'm like, just way too in my head, and I'm like, I'm playing so bad. I'm playing so bad. I'm playing so bad.
Right. But that will never. That's kind of that will never change. That will never buck the trend. You have to. You can't even tell yourself that you're playing good because you're not an idiot. You know you're playing badly. You're right. You are playing badly. But there's it doesn't change how you could play the next fight. You know,
Mhm.
it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to playing badly now. Doesn't mean that you will play badly next fight at all. I mean, we've already seen you accidentally almost turn the tide. Like you almost slept an EMPing Sombra.
Mhm.
You know, that was really, really good. But you know, again, you kind of get that negative feedback loop here. Now, a little detail with this, by the way, never, ever, ever press S versus doing Doomfist Ultimate. Never. Always press W. It could do this because when you press S, you're slowing yourself down. So you be unpredictable with your movement, but use your mouse to turn to change direction, not your directional keys. Okay. Let's stop there.
Yeah.
What do you need to practice?
Cooldown usage with my sleep and my nade. Whenever I'm not getting heavily dove, making sure I'm looking for opportunities for both me and the team. And whenever they do have something that can dive me, making sure that I'm saving them for whenever I do get dove, and not just kind of tossing them out randomly. Looking for
the
better
timing, right?
positions. Yeah, specifically the timing. Better positions. Just actually looking for better positions and not just freaking out. I shouldn't be heal botting, trying to make better use of all of my shots. And healing, like heal botting and healing where I don't really need to.
Overall, though, I guess largely as Ana as support, what needs to be practiced, like beyond Ana, you know, your mentality.
My mentality, not freaking out over small things like my other support dying, or someone like dying right next to me. I freak out a lot whenever that happens. So overall, just like my mentality and getting anxious with like my teammates and feeling like I'm not doing enough and being able to shift myself to what I can do in like the upcoming fight. Not letting like a lost fight get to me like that.
I think this is
Not
good.
letting it.
Go ahead.
Not letting it shift like how I play and not letting me play the like high ground I was just doing so well on just because we lost the fight.
Yep.
Because I died, did something stupid.
Yep. Exactly. Mistakes are never permanent. That's the thing. Like I think that's obviously something that applies to life as well, but certainly applies to Overwatch. Okay. Any questions?
No, I don't think so.